to our audience from around the world and a few instructions. We have reserved a few minutes for your questions as we want to hear from you, but please use the Q&A button on your Zoom screen, not the chat button. We will try to take as many questions as we can, if not all. Before I introduce our speaker, I would like to dedicate this session to Don Vicente, my dad's teacher in primary and secondary in a little town on the Spanish Mediterranean coast almost 100 years ago. My father remembered him until shortly before his passing, and his stories sound pretty familiar to the ones we hear these days. So I salute and honor all Don Vicentes in the world. Now let me introduce you to Dixon Tang, who's joining us from Singapore. He likes to identify himself with words such as educator, future, creativity. And in fact, he's a global educator and a keynote speaker on a mission to help people and organizations get creative towards the future of work and business so that they can unlock ideas and opportunities in new products, services, and processes. His best-selling book, Leadership for Future of Work, 9 Ways to Build Career Edge Over Robots with Human Creativity, was featured in media such as Forbes, Irish Tech News, and Money FM 89.3. He works with professionals from Cartier, CITIC Telcom, JVC Kenwood, Mannheim Business School, Menicon, Montblanc, Novartis, and many more. He holds an MBA from Essex Graduate School of Management in France and a Bachelor of Social Science from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Dixon joins us from Singapore, where he's based, and will lead us to the future of education. Thank you so much for your inspiration, and go ahead, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Asuncion. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. Good day, everyone. So wherever you are coming from this world, I want to personally welcome all of you. And today I'm going to talk about future of education, why creative human capital matters, and its implication to educator. And so quick question, right? Which city are you in? And also, do you have kids, right? Why I would like to ask you these 2 questions, because no matter where you are, right, the fact that you are here, that means you care about education. And also, I believe if you have children, you have kids, right, you care even more about education. So in today's presentation, I'm going to help you, and not just as an educator, but also help you as a parent as well. So first of all, thank you for joining today. Okay, there's a picture here. I just want to ask you, okay, what is this picture about? Okay, I know we have a chat, you can type out something, but because we have a huge audience, right, so I might not be able to get you to type in on the chat, but like, what is this picture is about? Think about it, what is this about? So some people may think that, oh, this is actually a brain surgeon. Well, actually, this is a job of the future. It's called organ creator, right? Organ creator. So this is an up and coming job. And so today, what are we going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about what is creative human capital and why it is important towards the future of education. And then I'll also share with you the concept of the idea pyramid, as well as the 3I model, which is a tool that you can take away with. And of course, towards the end, I'll also share with you some resources that you can bring home. This is me, Dixon Tang. I'm based in Singapore in Asia, and I would like to say hello to everyone who is joining from all over the world now. I am a full-time global keynote speaker and facilitator, and I also got a chance to speak at different conferences and events. And today I'm super happy super honored to have the opportunity to share my presentation with all of you here. And I'm the author of this book, Leadership for Future of Work, 9 Ways to Build Career Edge Over Robots with Human Creativity. And I also work with different organizations, different institutions to help them get ready towards the future. Now, some of you may ask me, hey, Dixon, why did you decide to write a book? Right? Why? The reason is very simple, because what I noticed is future of work, future of education, future of business requires creativity. But unfortunately, the school system I went through, I grew up in Hong Kong, now I live in Singapore. The school system I went through didn't really teach me to be creative. So there's a big gap. So, and that's why I want to write a book, I want to do something, and I want to bridge this gap. Right? Future requires creativity, traditional school system not supplying that. Right? So that's a big gap. And also, right, every week I also publish some content and video on my YouTube channel as well. Right? So so maybe let me just also put the link here, just in case you want to check it out. Right? So I'll put the link here. Okay. Okay, so a few things before we start. As some of you may have seen my content from the social media, so I would always believe that the best expectation is no expectation. So whatever you have learned from me in the past, right, just like empty your cup and then learn from fresh. And also I am actively on social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and also on Instagram. So you can find me using these two hashtags, Dixon Tang and also Creative Human Capital. So for today's session, it is all about ideas and inspiration. It is not direct solution to your problem and issue, right? So I want to set your expectation right. And you may be asking, hey, Dixon, can you tell me why do we need to care about creative human capital, right? As an educator, why do we need to care? A couple reasons. Reason number one is, according to World Economic Forum, the Education 4.0 framework, innovation and creativity skills is actually one of the core skills, right, that you need to master. Right? So that's the reason number one, right, why you need to care about creative human capital. The second reason why you need to care is about creativity is actually the number one, right, soft skills, right, that companies and organizations need the most. Right? So this is according to LinkedIn research. Right? So that means if your organization is not paying enough attention to that, time for you to do some catch up. And then the third reason why creative human capital matters to you, I want to share some research from this gentleman called Dr. Li Kai-fu. Dr. Li Kai-fu was a former Google executive and an artificial intelligence expert. He shared with us there are actually 5 types of jobs that are subject to AI disruption. Do you want to find out what are the 5 types of jobs subject to AI disruption? Do you want to find out? So these are the 5 types of jobs subject to AI disruption. But of course, you can see there are certain jobs, right, will be least likely to be disrupted by AI, which is the complex types of job and the creative types of job. Then, of course, certain job title there like CEO, M&A expert, artist, and scientist. Okay, then you may be thinking, oh my God, where is the educator? Right? Where is the educator? Right? Where am I? Where am I? In fact, if you look at this, if you look at the complex type of job and the creative type of job, those job requires you to work in a team, and also those jobs, creative type of job, requires you to be comfortable with ideas. Right? So as an educator, as someone running the schools and institution and university, what you need to focus on is focusing on teams and focus on ideas. Then for all other tasks, structure, programmable tasks, try to automate and delegate. So that is the way to go. Now, although we have seen from some like industry experts, different sources talking about, okay, creativity is the way to go. But for me, myself, as a curious keynote speaker, I always want to do my own research. I want to find out, right, from the market or from the industry what's going on. So I have done a little like future talent and creativity survey. I was an adjunct faculty with Singapore Management University, and I got a chance to survey 100 students last year. So I asked them these 3 questions. And number 1, do you think creativity is important for your future career, right, after graduation? 1 to 10. Right? Then the second question is, do you think university education, right, is preparing you to be creative right now? Right? So if yes, the university is preparing me to be creative, right, 10. If not, right, 1. Then the third question is, how easy for you to find, right, local resources to learn creativity? Right? If it's very easy, then 10, right? If very difficult, 1. Right? So I asked them these 3 questions. Would you like to know the result? The result is 8.3 out of 10. Okay, that means most of the university students, right, they think creativity is important for them after graduation, right? 8.3 out of 10, very important creativity. How about the current university education? Is it preparing the students to be creative? Okay, around 6 out of 10. Can they find local resources to learn creativity easily? Not at all, right? Only 4.9 out of 10. So there's a gap here. Okay, future requires creativity, right? Students know that, but locally they can't find resources to learn, right? So there's a gap. And this is a gap I would urge all of you to work together to close this gap. Okay, that means you need to inject some kind of like creativity and creative human capital as an educator. Okay, now, of course, if you want to know more about this research, right, feel free to email me. I'm happy to share with you more about, right, the details of this research. But the message here is very clear. We as educators, right, we need to be creative first so that our students can be creative. It's like when you are traveling on a plane, right, when the oxygen mask drops down. In case of turbulence, right, you need to pull the oxygen mask for yourself first, right, before you take care of others. Same, right? You need to be creative so that you can get your student to be creative. And my suggestion to you is in your next staff meeting or internal educator meeting or conference, whatever, right? Go share with your team, right, why they need to pay attention to creative human capital. And now, some of you may ask me, hey, Dixon, what are some of the resources, right, that you can share with me? What kind of research you can share with me so that in the next staff meeting or educator meeting, right, I can use it internally, right? So I have prepared a small gift here. So there's a QR code here, but at the same time, I can also share with all of you here on the chat box, right? So you can click the link on the chat box, and then you will be able to grab the resources. Now, some of you may be asking me, Dixon, hey, how do you define creativity? So different people define creativity differently, but I define it through this idea fluency. Right? So what does that mean? That means how fluent you are, right, with a foreign language. Same, right, how fluent you are with ideas. So typically, there are 4 levels, right? Level 1 is what I call no ideas. You know you are in this level 1, right? Whenever people ask you, hey, do you have any opinion, or what do you think? Right? Do you have any opinion? Then you try to avoid that question. You try to look away. That you are at level 1, right? That means no ideas. Level 2 is what I call limited ideas. You have a few ideas in your mind, but you don't know how to share, right? You don't want to share, and you are a bit shy to share. That's level 2. Level 3 is what I call many ideas. That means you have many ideas, but you don't know how to organize. You get drowned in all these ideas. You have way too many ideas. And the number 4 is what I call the power ideas. That means you manage to take 1 or 2 ideas, and then you go implement it, and you go test it, and see if it works. Right? So that's the 4 level. Level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Okay. So right now, what you need to do is you can think about yourself, right? If I ask you to score a number for yourself, Where are you? Are you at level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4? And then after that, also think about the direct team you are leading in school or in your company. How big is the team? And also, right, what's the number, right, for that team? Okay, so now you should have two numbers. A number for yourself and also a number for your team. If you realize your score is higher than your team, you need to help your team to improve creativity. On the other hand, if you know your team is here, you are below, you have some work to catch up. So in either case, you need to do something. So you may be asking me, hey, Dixon, how can I improve, right, my future-ready creativity? Right? So how? So let me share with you a process, right, that I list out in my book. So I call it the 3I model. There's a 3-step you need to follow. The first one is individual mindset. The second one is infrastructure. The third one is ideas. Right? That means you need to work on your creative individual mindset, creative infrastructure, and creative ideas. So let me go through it one by one with you. Right? The first one is individual mindset. Okay, so this is a picture. Right? What can this be? Right? Can you think about, right, what can it be? Right? You can type it in the chat if you want to, right? But what can this be? Right? What kind of building is it? Right? Some people may say it's a church, some people it's a school, but actually it's a data center. You may be thinking, oh wow, what data center? So nice, right? Second picture, right? What can this be? Oh, some of you may say, oh, this is a sailboat. Okay, this is a yacht. Okay. But actually, this is a co-working space, right? You can actually work from here, right? Co-working space. So what can we learn from here? So the message here is, like, whenever you are seeing a new opportunity, whenever you're seeing something new, right? Try it, or whenever you're given a new problem, right? Stop saying cannot, right? Start to say why not. It is a small shift, but big implication. Right? Say why not. So to help you get some practice, I'm going to say something, right? Can you say why not? Okay, why not? So the first one is, okay, no compulsory homework, no compulsory lesson. What should you say? Why not? Yeah, there's a school, right? Summer Hill. No compulsory homework, no compulsory lesson. Second one, food delivery directly to your classroom by robot. What should you say? Why not, right? Why not? This is the first university, right, to have food delivery robot into the classroom. So what does that mean to you as an educator, right? The first, if you want to be creative, the first one you need to do is you need to say why not. Right? Stop saying cannot, start to say why not. Be open to new ideas, new concepts, especially be open to those like job skills that never exist. Right? And at the same time, you also need to flip things around, right? Maybe you need to help students unlearn, right, rather than help students learn. And also, right, student to teach, not you to teach. Right? Why? Why not? So that's the first one. Right? The second I is what I call infrastructure. Right? Infrastructure meaning that you need to be creative in the way you do things. Here is an example. Let's assume, right, for a moment, you are the human resource manager, right, in an automobile company. Right? You're a human resource manager. You need to hire a skilled car mechanic. Right? What would you do? Most of the time, you will go to advertise on those job website, career website. But this HR director, right, in this company in Germany, they have done something different. They asked the HR team members to go out and get some second-hand cars with a problem engine. Then you may be thinking, I am an HR professional. Why do you ask me, right, to go out and get some second-hand car, right, to do recruitment? Then the HR director insists they need to go and do something. And then they say, why not, right? Why not you go and get some second-hand car with a problem engine? So after that, they managed to collect about 100 damaged cars with a faulty engine. And then they print out the job ads for this, like, car mechanic. They print it out and then they roll it and then they fold it and then they stuff it into the damaged car engine. And then after that, you know what? They actually send all this car, right, to different car repair workshops across Germany. So as you can imagine, right, when the car mechanic in the car repair workshop open up the engine and try to fix the engine, the job ads drop right into the face of this car mechanic. You can't run away with this job ad. 100% reach. It is much, much better than you advertise the same job ad on social media, because if you advertise digitally, you may only have like a 5% open rate and so on and so forth. But this is 100%. So what can we learn from here? Stop focusing on the content, focus on the context. Don't look at the task, right? The task of recruitment. Right? Look at the bigger picture. Right? Where are the car mechanics? So what does that mean to you as an educator? That means it's not about teaching the stuff, it's not about teaching the content, right? But it's about providing the context for the students to learn. So likewise, when it comes to like teaching the water density, it's not about teaching the formula. That's the content. But now what you need to do is you need to shift to the context, right? The bigger picture, get them to play some games, like virtual games, to understand this, like water density, or get them to make a raft, right, with some empty bottle, so that they can understand real life, right? What is water density, right? Provide a context. Example, right? This school in Bali, Indonesia, called Green School. What they have done something creative and successfully. They provide context to groom future environmental friendly leader. And in fact, the whole campus is built on bamboo. Right? So everything is constructed using bamboo. So that is Green School. Another example, right? Innova schools in Peru, right? In very successful case. Okay, why Innova schools is a very successful case? Because they provide the context towards the future of education. In fact, when they start this school, they actually hire a professional consultant, a design and innovation firm, to look at the education from a human-centered approach. Look at the context of the education, talk to different stakeholders, parents, school administrator, school leaders, sponsors, students, so on and so forth. And also, right, they provide the right context, right mix for education, group versus individual learning. So what does that mean to you? That means you need to provide the context. It's not about the content. Okay, so stop thinking about content. Right? Think about how you can provide the context. So that's the second I. The third I is what I call idea. So as an educator, you need to know how to be comfortable with ideas. Right? If you want to be creative, you need to know how to be comfortable with ideas. In my book, I talk about 11 tools, but for today, in view of time, I will pick the first one for you, which is the most relevant to you. It's about generating ideas using the method of combination. A plus B equal to C. If you combine cherry with Coke, you will have cherry Coke. And what if you combine a rapper, or music, and also financial education, a rapper and financial education? If you combine A and B together, what will you have? You will have C, which is a rapper-inspired financial education. So you can rap out your financial education, right? Financial literacy, right? Why not? And another example, if you combine A, right, the children's storybook, and B, milk, what will you have? You will have something what we call the milk book, right? This is from Slovenia. Right? So basically, to encourage the children to read, right, before sleeping, right? So they actually print the story around this milk bottle, right? So whenever they pour the milk out, they will read. Okay, so now, let me ask you this question, right? Can you jot down maybe one idea to improve your education product or education services or education process? So can you think of one idea? Can you write down now? I know some of you are already writing down something, but some of you may be struggling to write down, because typically when I ask you, right, to think on your own, right, you have a difficult time coming up with ideas. But if you organize yourself in a group and go through certain processes, right, ideas will flow out more easily. And that's why I would encourage you, right, to do an internal ideation session, to do an internal idea generation in your next educator meeting or HR meeting or business leadership meeting. Right? Try to think about, right, can you combine using this combination to come up with a new product? Maybe you combine MBA with chef, right? Then you can have a MBA specifically for the professional chef. Or maybe you can provide combining like teacher with robots. So to recap, okay, creative individual mindset means stop saying cannot, start to say why not. Creative infrastructure means like don't focus on the content, right? Focus on the context. In terms of ideas, focus on how you can be more comfortable with ideas, generative ideas. So this is the 3I model I talk about. Now, before I do the closing, I would like to share with you one thing. Okay, actually, the 3I model I talk about today is just a small part of a bigger framework I talk about in the book. And actually, there's a 9 skill matrix that you can actually master it if you want to be creative. So I have prepared skill metric for you. Okay, so right now, let's see if I can pull that up for you. So let me share with all of you the link here, and also at the same time, I stop here for 1 minute. I'll let you scan the QR code, and also you can get some free resources. So I will stop here for 1 minute, and then if you have any question, you will also share with me in the Q&A box. Right? So I will do the closing and the final recommendation, right, in about a minute's time.
In the meantime, to our audience, please prepare your questions to Dixon Tang. We have a very available, bright mind that has given us a new vision, a new perspective on how to approach almost everything in life. So take advantage. In the meantime, I would like to ask you something, Dixon.
Yes.
You know, the world is full of regulations and rules. And traditionally, we understand that schools are the place where we first learn our regulations and how to behave. So who's going to give permission to students to be creative?
Who? Great question, Asuncion. And of course, if you are talking about the direct interaction between the students and the teacher, right, who will give the permission, right? So I think the immediate so-called stakeholder will definitely be the teacher, right? Be the educator, because you are the first interface with the student. Okay. Now, I probably want to avoid using this term, right, called given the permission to be creative, because I believe, right, everyone is creative. We are all born creative, but somehow, unfortunately, we lost our creativity at school. Yeah, I know this is a bit controversial because I'm speaking at an education conference, but I think based on my personal experience and also based on my research, right, through writing this book, what I noticed is people naturally are born creative, right? As a small child, right, 1 year old, 2 years old, they will do whatever they want, right? They will eat whatever they want, they will grab whatever they want, right? Because nobody gives them the rules and regulations. But as we go through the school, the more we study, the more kind of we lost our creativity. Right? So in this conference, I would like to make a request is like, let's focus on creativity. Let's focus on creative human capital. Right? Let's say why not, right? Let's say why not to our education system. Now, I know some of you may be asking, hey, Dixon, I have a like a school principal, or I have a director of education I need to report to, right? How? What should I do? Then in this case, I would suggest you say why not to this person, right? In case this person won't be able to change, right? Talk to me. I will give you some additional tips, right? So that you can change this person with ease. Okay. So I hope this answers your question, Asuncion. Right? Say why not.
Of course, we should.
Okay.
Then we have
Great.
Maria Cristina Rocha is asking us, shouldn't teachers be more closely related to the economic and health decision makers of the country? What do you think about that?
Oh, sure. Can you repeat the question again one more time?
Should the teachers as a body, as a group, be more closely related and to the decision makers on education and health in countries, politically, how, structurally?
Okay, sure. I think towards the future of work, we focus on teamwork, right? In the past, right, maybe in the 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we focus on hierarchy, right? In a school institution, we have hierarchy, we have different departments, we have like different president, vice president, we have different hierarchy. But towards the future of work, it's all about like teamwork. So to answer your question, if you want to help the organization or help the government or help the education ministry to create some change, first of all, you need to have like a team with people from different sector of experience, different expertise, so that you guys can brainstorm, can generate ideas more easily, right? So I am a strong believer of breaking the silo, right? Let's break the silo and form an integrated team. So that's my answer to you.
Sure. Yes. This is probably the answer to most of it. Then
Exactly.
Beatriz Serrano is asking us, do you know of research projects based or located in schools? Do you know of successful experiences?
About the
research projects based
Okay.
in schools, not in a lab or in a university, but physically in a school. Do you know of any experience like that?
In terms of like creativity project?
Research projects for creativity, yes?
Oh, yes. Great question. In fact, I think when I'm going through the event, right? Yesterday I was going through the event. I go to this exhibition, right, of this same virtual event. I go to the exhibition session. There's actually a company, there's an organization, right? They build a specific something like a mobile innovation space, right, for the educator. That means like it is something like a portable house, right, within the school. That means you can go in there and you can actually do something, right? So you can actually turn on your creativity right inside that. So I'm not too sure if this is what you mean, the project, but I think this is one of the interesting thing, right? So I encourage all of you to check out in the exhibition hall, right? So it is like a portable school kind of thing, right? So maybe later on I can also pull up the link for your audience here. Yeah. Okay, so I know you have a bit more questions. So right now what am I going to do is I'm going to do the closing, a few 2 or 3 more slides,
Please,
and then after that, right, we can do the Q&A as well, right? I know there's some more question coming in, right? So thank you. Yeah. Okay, so to summarize how educator can be more creative, right? Focus on the 3I model. First, focus on the creative individual mindset. Okay, say why not be open to new things. And secondly, as an educator, okay, stop thinking about the content and think about the context. Right? That's what I call the creative infrastructure, right? Providing the right context for students. And then thirdly is about the idea, right? Is organize your ideas in a team environment, generate ideas using different ideation methods, right? One of it is called this combination method. Okay, so my call to action to you as an educator is start to use this 3I model I talk about as a start to build creative human capital in your education institutions. and make sure that you are creative so that your students can be creative. Right? So with that, I want to ask you a question. Guys, should I stop my presentation here? Should I stop here? The answer is?
Yes.
Why not? Right?
Yes.
Why not I stop?
Why
Okay.
not?
So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So this is my contact detail. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dixon. It was very inspiring. And we have a few more questions. We will, with your permission, we will forward them to you. But one of them is particularly relevant and suggests the use of AI in this field, in this particular moment, to motivate and to use it as a good tool to achieve a better performance for everybody. So I think that we are at our time almost. Is there any other? I don't think we have any other.
Let me see if I have any other questions here.
Can you give? Yes, Fernanda Vicente is asking. Can you give us some more references of books that we can use where we can find examples of exercises that we can apply in our classrooms?
Oh, fantastic question. Yeah, actually, yes, I do have like some activities. I'm more than happy to share with you all. But I don't think I have time to go through all. But probably maybe you send me an email and then we will connect from there. Yeah, and also there's some ideas already right here. But I'm happy to point you there. Yeah.
That's great. That would be great. We will be glad, with your permission, to share your website. And maybe our audience can contact you from there, and you can follow up as much as possible.
Definitely, I'm more than happy.
Questions and
I care about education, so I definitely love to connect with you guys. Yeah,
you can tell. I really appreciate, and we can probably wrap up the session here. We thank you very much for your inspiring words and work, and we look forward to continuing other conversations of this kind.
Yes,
thank you.
Definitely. I look forward to that, and I will get the admin team to save all the question and answer for me, and then I will look into that. Yeah.
Of
okay,
course,
great.
we are. Many
Thank
positive
you.
Comments, many observations, all of them positive. Thank you, Dixon.
Thank you so much. Great having me here. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
And